good morning. If this is afternoon, or good evening, whenever you are catching this broadcast, I want to welcome you to today's Enlightenment program. And today's topic is eyes opening. Yesterday, we talked about something out of nothing, because this week, the series title is Creation in the Beginning. And as we read from Genesis 1 and 2, the earth was a mass. The earth was nothing. There was nothing happening on the earth. And so something was created out of nothing. And so that's how we got started yesterday. I want to welcome you again to today's program. And my name is Jay Moore. I'm your healthy accountant. And this morning, as we dive into this quick lesson, where we're going to just discuss, how when your eyes open, things happen. When your eyes open, things happen. So we're going to go right into the word. Genesis 1 and verse 3. It says, "And God said, let there be light. And everything was bathed in light from the darkness. And he called the light day and darkness night." That ended God's activity for the first day of earth. Ended right there. He did one thing. And so I want to just kind of, draw your attention to a baby. When babies are born, babies come from almost nothing. So yesterday we talked about something out of nothing. Now, we didn't talk about babies, but we're going to talk about a baby to start this off. A baby came from almost nothing. Literally, you've got sperm, you've got an egg. And so something that was nothing created something, which is this baby. And so imagine this baby comes out, and then when the baby finally opens its eyes, now at first the baby sees nothing. The baby can hardly see anything. But imagine when the baby finally starts to see things, when it's like, oh, wow, I can touch. A lot of times, what are we doing as parents? Like we see the babies, they're trying to touch everything, like, hey, stop, stop, stop. But the baby's like, hey, I'm new to this. All of this is brand new. Everything that I see, I never saw before. So as your eyes are opening with anything, the first thing that usually happens, especially if someone is watching you, is, hey, you shouldn't do that. Hey, that might be a little scary at times. Or maybe you should, save that for someone else that knows how to do it. But see, guys, when your eyes start to open, what happens is you start getting inquisitive. You start saying to yourself, wait a second, there's more of something that I don't understand. I'm reading this book. It's been sitting on my book for, I think this is probably one of the first books I ever bought. It's called The 1 Minute Millionaire. And I've had it at least 5 or 6 years. So I picked it up because something said, pick this book up. Now, I've gone through the book. I didn't read the story that went along with the all of the 1 Minute Millionaire topics, because there's all these topics. So I went through all of those, but I never read the story attached to it. And so the story attached to it is called Enlightened, Your Way to Enlighten Wealth, or something like that. Ooh, wow, I'm doing the Enlightenment series. Here's Enlightened Wealth sitting right on my shelf right next to me. So I pick it up yesterday, and I kind of start flipping the pages. And then something says, start reading this book. And so I'm reading this book. Great story. It's written written very well, because it's almost like a cliffhanger, keeps me reading. And so I'm reading this story about someone whose eyes is closed, pretty much. The woman in the story, she loses her husband, and her husband's parents were rich. They had money, but they didn't like her. They never liked her. And so once the husband died, in a tragic accident, the grandparents want to take the kids. So the grandparents actually got the kids, took the kids from her. And so now here it is. She's down. She's out. Nowhere to go. And she meets this woman whom she didn't know why she wanted to meet her. She's like, man, this woman looks like somebody I should know. She was working at a restaurant and she was meeting with, and so the woman was meeting with a group of people, but they were talking money. They were like a millionaire club. And so here it is, they're talking. She got very, very, she just like looking like, man, I've got to meet this woman. So she meets her, and come to find out the woman had just written a book of how she was going to help other people to become millionaires the way that she did it. And so somehow she impressed a woman to mentor her. And so she starts to mentor her. But what happens is, in the beginning process of anything, your eyes are closed. And in the beginning, she didn't understand anything. She thought that everything was a how. Well, how do I become a millionaire? And so, it's kind of like when you watch The Karate Kid. If you've ever watched The Karate Kid, at least the first one, everything that Mr. Miyagi is teaching Daniel is not karate. He's teaching him all these things that don't have anything to do with the karate. And so that's really what she's doing. The mentor is teaching her how to think. The mentor is teaching her how to get her eyes open. The mentor is teaching her the principles behind doing everything. And so as I'm reading this story, I'm saying, man, this is a powerful story, because now that I'm in it and I'm watching what's happening to the young lady's life, is that she's moving closer and closer to what it is that she wants. She wants to get her kids back. She wants to be able to earn a living. But before she could even get there, she had to like clear everything out. She had to close her eyes so that she could then start opening her eyes. And in this opening of her eyes process, she starts to internalize and learn the steps, the things that we all must do in order to have the things that we want. Now, a lot of times we sell ourselves short. Have you ever sold yourself short on what you want? Like if I asked you, hey, how much money do you want to earn? If I asked you that question, how much would you say? What I find is that most people go for the realistic number. If I say, how much money do you want to earn? They may say, you know what? Well, I only earned 40,000 this past year. Hey, if I can earn 70,000 next year, that'd be great. So when the question is asked, how much do you want? It's not about how much can you do right now. It's if you could get it, how much do you want? If there was no obstacles, which there's always going to be an obstacle, but you just have to know how to look at it. If you knew you could get it, how much would it be? And that was the process that she had to go through in order to start pushing herself into the place that she wants to go. So I haven't finished reading the story, so I can't tell you how it ended. But what I can tell you is this. She's on a 90-day journey to earn $1 million. 90 days. I said to myself, man, that was like, that's the only way she can get her kids back. And that was a clue, because in order to do something, you've got to have a big enough reason why you want to do it. Because for the sake of earning money, a lot of times it's not going to work. I've been there, I've done that. For the sake of earning money, it usually going to dry up on you. But when the reason is big enough, when it's attached to your emotions and when it's attached to who you are and what you want to become, then that's when the juices get flowing. That's when the eyes get bigger. That's when it's like, okay, now I really must keep my eyes open. I must really move towards what it is that, I know that I must have, not that what I want, but what I must have. And so when you're thinking about opening your eyes, as God opened the eyes of the earth by saying, let there be light. See, when God started with the mass, God could have probably done it all in an instant. I believe he could have just done it all. But he had to set framework, because God is God is all knowing. God is all understanding. God knows exactly the beginning from the end. And because he knows this, he says, well, there's no sense in showing this framework so that others can't do it. I want to show them that there's a process to doing everything. And so what he did was he took a mask and he basically started there. Then he opened the eyes of the earth by giving some light. And so what you have to do is give yourself some light. Open up your eyes to the possibilities of what's in front of you. I gave an analogy that I basically I ripped off of T.D. Jakes, and T.D. Jakes was talking about his book Soar, which I haven't gotten yet. I need to get his book just so I can read it. But he was talking about his book Soar, and so he talked about a tree. He talked about how a tree hasn't, or God created this tree, right? God created basically the heavens and the earth. He created all of the stuff on the earth, but God did not create buildings. God did not create houses. God did not create, cars and desks and furniture. God didn't create any of that. See, God created a tree. And because God created a tree, that tree has been used because people looked at the tree. People took their eyes and they opened them up and they looked at a tree and said, oh shoot, I can make paper out of this tree. And I best believe that the first time the person said they were going to make paper out of a tree, someone laughed and said, man, that's not even possible. The first time someone said they're going to make a house out of a tree, I don't know, but houses have been made out of trees for years and years. But just think of all the things, the desks, that come from trees. Money, comes from the cotton bush or cotton tree or something like that. But the tree has been used to make, I would say, thousands of things indirectly. Parts here, part there, the tree. So someone had to open their eyes and they had to see something that wasn't visible at first. See, when you open your eyes, it's called seeing the possibility. See, when God turned on the lights, there was more possibility. He says, oh, I got more to work with today. Oh, shoot, I can see everything. I know exactly where the grass is going to go. I know exactly where, the waters are going to go. I know exactly where the people are going to go. I know exactly where the animals, where the fish. Like, he knew exactly where everything was going. He had to get some light on it first. Yeah, he had to open up the possibilities. So today, as you're going through your day and as you go through the rest of this week, I want you to start thinking about the possibilities of who you are, the possibility of what it is that's inside of you. If the tree can be used for thousands of things, how many things can you be used for? How many things can come out of you? See, a lot of times we use words that totally take away from our abilities. We use words like, I can't. When you just change that, I can. Even if it's impossible, I can. I must. I will. I can. I must. I must. I can. I can. Yes, you can. Don't use I can't. Don't use, maybe you won't do something because, it's not the right time, but don't use you can't. See, because the possibilities that's inside of you is breathtaking. There's so many possibilities that can come out of you. If God created a tree, and that tree has no intelligence. That tree just sits there and it helps with the oxygen flow. Has so many uses. How many uses can come out of you? It can only happen when your eyes start opening up. When your eyes start opening up to the possibilities of what can come out of you. And don't allow that little guy or that little girl inside to say, yeah, but you've been terrible all your life at that. Yeah, but there's no way you can do it because that's where you came from. And yeah, but there's no way that you can do that because you don't have the right parents. Yeah, but you can't do that because, you haven't made enough money. Yeah, but you can't do that because, you don't have any experience. And yeah, but you can't do that because you're overweight. Yeah, but you can't do that because, you're a terrible person. Yeah, but you've got a criminal record. Yeah. You see all these things? You see how many things could take away someone's ability to want to do something? So what you got to do is you got to, when that yeah but comes, and that came out of the book, the yeah but. When that yeah but comes, what you've got to do is you've got to say, yeah, but I can. That's what you got. Yeah, but I can. Contrary to what you're talking about, Missy or Mister. Give them a name. If it tells you to do not to do something, then you say, I'm gonna do it. See, your eyes opening is the possibilities that's already been laid for you. See, our bodies are, mortal, but what's inside of us is more than mortal. What's inside of us is something special. And you have something special. I have something special. Let's go use our collective abilities so that we can help others open up their eyes so that they can create something out of nothing, like you and I can create something out of nothing. So that's what I have this morning, guys. I appreciate you for joining me and listening in. I hope that you got value from this program today. If you did, please like, comment, share across the social networks that you may be listening on. If you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them so that I can help you out in any area relating to this topic today. Guys, tomorrow, we'll be talking about forming clear views. And this week's topic is all about creation in the beginning. So, guys, I appreciate you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow on Enlightenment. God bless you. Take care.